microphone is turned on.
Yes, hello, Alex.
1 second, I will turn off TV screen.
Yeah. We will start in 5 minutes, and if you are a startup founder, please write your startup name after your name. Help us to understand what everyone join us.
And please give me the rights for screen.
Oh, sure. It's work for everyone. I will provide a little bit later.
Do you hear the noise from the street?
No, it's okay.
Hi, this is Matt. Request for
Hello, Mike.
when this gets started.
Yeah, 1-2 minutes, and we will start. Yes, I would like to remind Okay, I suppose we can start. And hello, everyone, and welcome to the last hour expert session, Global Transport Innovation Contest. My name is Andrew, and I'll be your host for this session. And let me briefly introduce our today program. So I will start sharing my screen, and I hope what everyone see this. Yeah, the main aim of this event is to connect with industry leaders and experts from around the world to discuss and share ideas on the future of transportation. We decided to focus on developing countries and which present immense untapped potential for innovation investments with growing markets, abundant resources, and a hunger for progress. We also decided to focus on 4 interesting ways and topics in transport innovation. It's mobility as a service, autonomous transport, and V2X, consumer services and public transport. And finally, our today's topic is alternative transport, energy, and public transport. We have successfully conducted 3 meetings where we gain insight into the current technological advancement, market expectations, and technological challenges. And finally, on March 30, we will be hosting our final pitch session for the top 15 transport innovation startups from around the world. The event will be divided into 4 sections: smart cities, mobility as a service, consumer service in public transport, and the future of transportation. Each session will include at least 10 companies. And I guess this is a great opportunity for everyone to find a technological solution for your company and ask questions to some of the most innovative startups in the transport industry. Briefly about our main partner. It's future transportation and innovative mobility. It's a corporate VC and innovation platform focusing on transportation and mobility seed stage ventures. F-Team has been working since 2020 and establishing collaboration with public transportation ecosystem in the Africa, Middle East, and Central Asia. Today we're excited to host the final expert session focusing on the topic of alternative transport and energy and public transport. And our goal is to understand how this sector is progressing in different countries, identify exciting existing challenges, and discuss when we can expect to see how hydrogen-powered buses become more common. And additionally, we will hear presentation from 4 startups what are addressing this very issue. So let's get started, and let me introduce our today's experts. And I will start with our experts from Malaysia, Ezri Azani Abu. He's a principal assistant director at agency Pengangkutan Awam Dapat. Yes, Ezri, hello.
Hello, hi, good afternoon.
Yes.
I'm Ezri from Malaysia. Basically, it's Agency Pengangkutan Awam Darat, or it's called Land Public Transport Agencies of Malaysia.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, our next expert from India, Avni Mehta. She is a transport and infrastructure advisor at GIS. Hello, Avni.
Hello, thank you
Yes.
so much for having me. Yes, it's GIZ or GIZ. I don't know how. I think even I don't know. It's a German name, so I think we all mispronounce it.
Cool. Yeah, our next expert from India as well is Aditi Saini. She is a deputy manager quality assurance at Integral Coach Factory. Aditi, hello. How are you?
Hello, thank you for having me. Nice to see you all.
Yeah, nice to see you. Thank you for joining. Our next expert is Habib Laya. He is a solution developer at Port Autonome de Kirby from Cameroon. So, finally, I would like to introduce our moderator, and our moderator today is Andrew Popov and strategic development at F-Team. Andrew, mic for you. You can start.
Yeah, thanks. So eventually it's happening. Guys, hi everyone. Thank you for joining this discussion today. As you see, I'm really excited to be here and moderate and talk with you because you're really top experts that we found on the whole internet. So that's the first point. And the second point, it's really our fourth and the last open talk in a row within the startup competition, where we're trying to discuss the key topics in public transportation innovations and ask our experts share their unique experience and insights according to domestic trends. So as a venture fund, we really want to create transparent understanding of global mobility trends and help startups and founders to find product market fit as soon as possible. So today we'll talk about alternative transport in public field, such as hydrogen platforms and other amazing stuff. But before I begin, I must tell the key rules of the game. Yeah. First of all, it's a discussion. That's mean that if you have any question for our expert, just raise your hand, and my partner Andrew will see it and send me a signal, and we share a mic. Okay. So I hope everything is clear, and follow our tradition. We want to start from India, and Avni, it's your mic.
I think since I've been in school, I've always been, starting name with A. So you always have the, you always end up going first. So you have the advantage and the disadvantage. But thank you so much for having me. I feel it great that, you searched the entire internet and found me. So I already feel very special about it. Thank you so much. I'm Avni Mehta. I work as the Transport and Infrastructure Advisor at GIZ, which is the German Development Corporation, and we work with various governments in India. I'm currently part of a project that's called Climate Friendly Freight Transport in India and working on freight and logistics sector. But previously I worked in public transport, in alternate fuels, and also in electric vehicles. So not taking more time with my introduction, what I thought I'll share is an overview of what's currently happening in India in terms of policy at the alternate fuel level, and then go into some of the key challenges and the areas that are going to be coming up and things that will need work on in the future. So I'll try to keep my discussion points on that. So I think it's the ambition for going towards alternate fuel or shifting from fossil fuel is very clear. All the countries across the world are working on this. In COP26 in 2021, our Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi, also laid out India's high-level ambitions, and we have a target for achieving net zero by 2070, and then in a very immediate term, we have a target of reducing our carbon intensity by 45% of our 2005 levels. So that's pretty high ambition that we have set for ourselves, and transport is the fourth largest energy consumption sector in India, and without working in transport, these targets and ambitions will not be met. So there's been a focus on 3 fuels, I will say very particularly. We've been focusing on biofuel, biodiesel. This is something that's been going on since 2005, 2008. We started the conversation to blend biofuel, biodiesel in our existing fuels. And we've reached certain targets, and to scale it up, work is happening. Second strategy that we are focusing, I think, very heavily focused on in India is electrification of vehicles, and I mean all types of vehicles across the mode, right? Your two-wheelers, your light commercial vehicles, your cars, public buses in general, and even then starting to look towards electrification of the heavy-duty vehicles, at least towards the research side. So the second area that we're really working on. And the third one that, now we've sort of given some sort of an indication that India will look into is hydrogen. So this year's annual budget, the government announced that they will be investing in hydrogen. Transport is going to be one of the sectors that they would like to look into in hydrogen and invest in. But it's still, the technology is at a nascent stage. We still don't know how we're really going to implement it. So a lot of money is going to be put into research and development on production, finding viable areas where hydrogen can be used, on producing green hydrogen at the scratch of itself. And then in transportation, I think looking at fuel cell vehicles, especially for those vehicle segments that cannot get electrified or will not have electric vehicles like heavy duty vehicles. Can hydrogen then be looked there, or some of those bus routes that are longer bus routes, right? Not your urban bus routes, but longer bus routes. Can we also look into hydrogen there? So where maybe battery electrical vehicle has a void, can hydrogen fill that up? So that's the target, and that's the push that we have in hydrogen. And in hydrogen, what they're also looking into, and I think this is going to start now, is on skilled workforce for this. I think this is also something that we currently lack, and there's also a big push and investment and efforts that will go into skilling the workforce so that hydrogen can be an alternate fuel that can be viable for the nation in general. But yeah, I think the biggest focus of the discussion and really the epicenter is actually electrification, where we've made most progress and where we have probably the most challenges, because this is something that we're doing. So, I mean, work on electrification started since 2012. That's when the first time the ambition was laid out, so funds were allocated for electric vehicles. But really, you start to see a push for electric vehicles since 2017. And in the initial years, it was a lot about just creating awareness, having incentives, and then trying to start the push for electric vehicles. And now slowly and slowly we can see the results of those interventions. So penetration has begun. For example, in your bus fleets, we have about 3,000 electric buses that are currently running in India, but there's still a long way to go ahead. On the private vehicle side, I think the government is not doing a lot, because it's trying to sort of optimize its where should it really push the funds and where the push is needed. So their majority currently is on electrification of the fleets. For the private vehicles, there is definitely a push, but it's not necessarily a very direct and an obvious push. I think it's said that the market will take care of itself. So certain financial incentives or disincentives are given. And slowly we can see wherever the cost parity for these vehicles has been reached, we can really see the penetration, especially let's say in the two-wheeler market in India. That's there is cost parity. It now just makes sense to purchase an electric scooter and not a fossil fuel scooter. On the, sorry.
Yeah. Just proceed.
I thought. On the electric bus side, I think what I want to focus on right now, there's a lot of focus on the urban bus operations. I think that's where the maximum viability is. The push really comes from the fact that I think out of 50 top polluting cities in the world, India has 39 cities. There was a recent ranking report that I was reading. So it really comes from the fact that we really need to clean up our air in the cities. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of push for electric urban bus fleets. And there was certain money allocated for it. And recently the government of India announced, they've procured a tender for 5,000 plus urban buses. And slowly these buses will start to trickle down and be plying on the cities. But this is now with the biggest challenge. We are not that great with our bus operations historically. We're still a very I will say manual country, huge workforce, and a lot of things were done on a manual basis. And when you're talking electric bus operations, technology is something that you cannot run and escape from anymore. This is something that you'll have to start looking into. You will have to start looking into your optimizing the routes that the buses are plying on. It cannot just be a direct running of, this one diesel bus I was running on this route and I can just exactly put an electric bus. It doesn't really work out that way, because the charging infrastructure or the battery capacity would be very different. How it's functioning or not functioning in the city really needs to be looked at. So you'll have to start looking at route optimization. You'll have to start looking into crew schedule optimizations. Historically, we'll see that when the bus is sometimes with the driver will go on the break, the bus also takes a break, and sometimes this break is for an hour. Now, when it comes to bus operations, this is not the most suitable thing, because the bus should continue to run and serve the people. So when you're running electric bus operations, these things become more important. Your battery management, understanding how the battery is functioning over the year, over the day, and optimizing that to better perform your operations. All of this is slowly going to come up, will become very important, and the cities or the public bus companies in India will have to start, looking into these things. They will not be able to escape from it anymore. I mean, actually, we also just wanted to share a fact. We did a study where we compared the Indian bus companies and the employees that they have and how much money and how much dedicated personnel is for IT, and we compared it to some 8 other cities in Europe, and Indian bus cities were the least that spent on IT management and systems. So this is something that going forward, I think will need the biggest support and the help, and I think where the companies can really come in and pitch towards.
So cool. Sounds really amazing. Avni, I have just one tricky question. What about some supporting services, especially according to battery utilization and recovery? Because fast-growing electricity vehicles market will produce a lot of batteries. Yeah, what do you think about this potential big, huge, and other problem?
I think so. I think this is something that we've also looked into. So circular economy, especially battery recycling, is coming up. This is something that we're utilizing. In fact, I think this is a problem not only for electric buses. This is a problem even when you have solar panels that are going, right? They only have a certain life. So this is also going to be a big problem in the future. How are you going to look at all of this that has all of this waste that will get electronic waste that will get collected, and how do you reuse it? What I do understand, and I do know that there are already multiple organizations in India that are looking at battery recycling and working towards it. So once it's gone, breaking it apart, taking out all the material from it, and then recreating it to make new batteries. I still don't know how much waste that eventually does, but I do know that work is already in progress to ensure that eventually there will be minimal waste that we have.
Okay. It's just another side of technologies, yeah? It's not only about positive, but
yes,
yeah.
no, absolutely. I think it's not just this is every electronic waste that we are generating as in the world.
Okay.
I think it's a big challenge.
So, Avni, we have additional questions from our founders, startup founders. Mert?
Hi.
Yeah.
Thanks for the explanation. I just have a quick question regarding the transition for the electric buses. I have worked in the automotive industry, and now we are working on maritime industry, and same shift happens in electric ferries right now. Okay, but one of the questions we receive is how about the infrastructure? Most of the infrastructure in the ports, for example, do not allow us to do fast charging or even regular charging or putting shore power for large vessels. And do you have any problems with the grid or the infrastructure, or are there any measures that you are going to consider when you are doing this shift to the electrification of public vehicles? Thanks a lot, by the way.
Yes. So to answer your question, I think overall, when we did certain studies to understand, given certain percentage is of electric vehicles get electrified, then what impact it has on the overall grid, I think that impact was not very high. It was minimal, but yes, I mean, it just depends on the penetration. To answer your question for the maritime, I will not be able to answer for the international shipping. I don't have much, but I do know that at least in the domestic inland waterways shipping that we have, there is definitely conversation now starting, because we've also we did a study and we were trying to showcase how much emissions are coming out of various modes of transport. And shipping currently has, I think, the highest, although it is supposed to be a very sustainable mode of transport. We believed it, but it's just that in India, the diesel fuel that they're using was so low quality that the emissions were the highest per kilometer per ton that were flying on the sea. So they are definitely aware and privy of the emissions from the shipping, and they are starting to slowly upgrade the infrastructure, because this is another push that the government has. So we recently had the new logistics policy that was announced last year, and there is a high level ambition and target of shifting from road to rail and to shipping for our freight movement. So there is definitely conversation happening on the infrastructure upgrade that is needed for shipping in India. And I think currently there are a lot of challenges. I don't want to go into the detail, but yes, there's absolutely work and conversations happening on that. So, yes.
So, thank you for your opinion, and we have to proceed, but we still going to continue to discuss some port infrastructure with Habib from Cameroon. Habib, it's your mic. Are you with us?
Yes.
So
hello,
cool.
everyone.
Yes, hi. You can turn on your camera. It will be really nice. Yeah.
Is it okay?
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay. Thank you.
So it will be nice if you can share some interesting experience and insight about port infrastructure, and maybe some points about future public urban water transport.
Okay, so thank you. To give a little context before talking about solution, I want to, first of all, I want to thank all the organizers, the partner, for inviting me to be a part of this panel. I think the topic is very crucial because, as you know, concerning the maritime, all the shipping lines are already knows that the organization of maritime, the International Maritime Organization, has adopted a strategy a few years ago. This strategy wants to completely decarbonize the transport. So the goal is very huge. Concerning, so we have many opportunities to do that. For example, at Kribi, Port of Kribi, where I'm working, we are a central port in Africa, and we are connected to the rest of the world. We have a market of 300 million people because we are surrounding interland countries. We are connected to Chad, Central Africa Republic, Gabon, Congo, and so on. So how we are facing that challenge in Kribi? First of all, we have decided to make a photovoltaic solution. It's a solar solution. This solar can permit us to start a smooth transition on the reliable, sustainable energy. So it's the first point. The first point is that we are working actually on our efficiency energy. We have a software, maybe you should know, it's a SCADA software. That SCADA is software we can give you the opportunities and the facilities to remote all your system about the energy. So we have collected a lot of data on that software. So this data permit us to be predictive, to make some predictive analysis, so to see how we can better use our energy. But the point is that for the future, we think that the solution is because today more than 80% of how to say house green gas on the transport is coming from shipping line, is coming from maritime. And we know to aim to go to the target of IMO, we need more than 270 millions of consumption today. We don't have that means. We don't have the means to make a development. We don't have the means to make the investment. So we think that we should think on a solution like a tax. You know, we can put a tax on all the shipping lines. The tax could work with how to say an year when you a tax on each cargo. When you make an order from let me take an example. When you make your order from a cargo coming, I don't know, from United States or from I don't know, from France to Cameroon, this technology has to calculate like a rate of carbonization, like a rate of impact on the ecology. If the rate is very up, the shipping line should pay a tax. If the rate is under the limit, there is no tax, and all that tax could be collected to go to the fund. You know, a fund. That fund could help port to develop infrastructure, that help people to make more research and development. But I think the key is that solution, that intelligent solution, which give a rate, a score for each shipment. And after that, people can use that rate to see if they are eco-friendly, to see if they are respecting the limits, and so on. This is my idea about that question. So today in Kribi, part of Africa, we are working on that kind of solution, but we are open to innovative solution to improve our ideas. Sorry for my English.
It's okay. That's cool. It's international discussion.
Yes.
Don't worry. Thanks a lot. It's really a nice idea, especially about some special innovation taxes. It seems to me it's really amazing. Yeah, Mert, I see that you have
I
a
am
question.
sorry, excuse me, but I am jumping in. So if you have limited amount of time, please just tell me,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna stop talking.
Yeah, go ahead.
But Habib, Mr. Iya, I think such a regulation is on the way right now. If the ships are not meeting emission regulations, specific ports in Europe especially are now starting to tax them additionally, and it's going to, of course, increase their costs and to reduce their revenues. So there's a regulation upcoming very soon, I think. People are working on it. In case if you need, I can share some further information. Thanks a lot. Sorry for that.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for the update. Just what I wanted to output is that if we need to improve fairly our equipment, we need to get funds. So we are still looking for solution to improve our ports. I don't know who will pay for that that needs. That's why I think if we put a tax, if the shipment is very high, you will not pay the tax, but if it's good, you will pay. That score can help us to rate people, to rate shipping lines, and to rate good consumer, kind of that.
Okay, thank you. Thanks a lot. So we have to proceed and move to Malaysia, and it's time for Ezri.
Hello, hi.
Yeah,
Good
hi.
afternoon, everyone. So I'm Ezri from Malaysia.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you too.
Today you're again with your invention, yeah?
Okay, basically, it's just like an introduction. What is happening currently happening. So basically, I'm working at Land Public Transport Agency of Malaysia under Ministry of Transport of Malaysia. So we are doing some we as a regulators, the public transport regulators of Malaysia. So currently we are overseeing the development of the public transport in Malaysia, and then also the planning of the public transport in Malaysia, assisting the Ministry of Transport for doing the policies for the nation. So currently in Malaysia, we are having just before COVID, we just launched our national transport policy 2019 and 2030, which is some objective of having an objective to encourage and then to enhance the transportation environment in Malaysia. There is three main objectives, which is the economical competitiveness, social impact, and then impact to the environment. So based on this, what we want to have is to create the ecosystems, the conducive ecosystem for transportation in Asia, enhance the movement of the goods, creates the mobility, and then fulfilling the needs for the people, and then integrations of transportation mode, and then creating a transportation system which is smart and safe. And then the final is to create the sector, to ensure the enhance of resources of for the transportation. So basically, this is what happened in Malaysia. So toward this, we have some encouragement of having a green technology. For example, in Malaysia, we are moving forward to have a green technologies in the transportation, where we are moving to the more greenery technologies such as electric vehicles, electric buses for the buses fleet, and then we are going to we have introduced the hydrogen buses and then the LNG buses. Towards the trains, for the public transportation, we have just launched our latest metro line, which is Putrajaya line on 16th of March 2023, which is connecting from south of Kuala Lumpur to the north of Kuala Lumpur, Putrajaya to the Sungai Buloh in the north. And then we are having in future, we are going to have we are going to introduce tramline. So this is currently under review of us. So we are waiting for the further steps. Once it's approved, we are going to introduce a new thing in Malaysia, which is a tram. So previously there is no such regulations or no such trams introduced in Malaysia in the modern era. So this will be the first will be done in Malaysia. The location will be in Melaka, right? In Melaka South, Malaysia. So this is what is happening in Malaysia.
Okay, so cool. Some extra question about micromobility. What about micromobility trend in Malaysia and in Kuala Lumpur in general?
Generally, we have introduced a concept of the first mile and last mile connectivity in Malaysia. Definitely, we need micro-mobility to be introduced. On the current rules and law or legislation in Malaysia, there is a lack of micro-mobility. But in the amendment in the parliament right now, we are going to introduce the micro-mobility. We are going to introduce some small vehicle like electric scooters to enhance the movement of people in Malaysia. So this is targeted with a group which is to enhance the usage of the public transportation in Malaysia, where they can use the micro-mobility. They can use their small vehicles like EVs, like electric scooters or electric bicycles to be brought into the train, and then it can be used just after the station. So currently, for the train services in Malaysia, it does allow small bicycles to be in and then scooters to be in, just to help people to move around.
So, okay. Yeah. And the last question about maybe some kind of mega public transportation projects. So what do you think about the future of speed trains between Kuala Lumpur, Singapore, Hanoi, Bangkok, some, speed lane?
Currently, we are in the committee of the Singapore Kunming Rail Link, which will be linking from Singapore to Kunming in China. So we are in the middle parts of the road. So within this committee, we have discussed, and then we are going to introduce some mode of transportation between Singapore to Kunming, Bangkok and Kunming, China. So basically, one of the attractions in this route is the introduction of the line, introduction of the new railway line, which is the high-speed line. So in Malaysia, currently, everybody knows that we have cancelled the first plan for the KL Singapore high-speed rail, but it is not basically, it's just a delay basically. Now the government doing impact are looking forward to have it, but they are looking forward from the investment side. So where does any parties in the world which is interested, locally or globally, can come to Malaysia's government and then give the proposals of having this. Because in Malaysia, we are looking forward to have the private operators or the private entities to be invested in Malaysia, and then there will be given opportunity to develop the railway line and some sort. Maybe the development along the corridor, along the route of the high-speed line. Together, we are start talking to the Thailand, government of Malaysia is start talking to the Thailand on having the possibilities of the new railway line to linking high speed from Malaysia, especially Kuala Lumpur to Bangkok. So currently, in Malaysia, we only have a medium speed. We have the meter gauge track linking from currently Gemas out of Kuala Lumpur to Padang Besar, which is south of Thailand, the border from Malaysia and Thailand. Then we are going to complete by 2025. We are going to complete the electrified double track from Gemas to the Johor Bahru, the border from Malaysia to Thailand. This is for the meter gauge, but for the high speed, yes, the government of Malaysia are very interested to have it. And then we are looking forward, as what the Minister of Transport of Malaysia said in the Parliament, they are looking forward to have the investor or the proposal from other countries or from the global players to have, and then to present to Malaysia to have the system which can suit the Malaysian environment and then Malaysian laws and requirements. So this is the future of Malaysia. Together, besides that, we also have the development of metro. We have the MRT, the metro line within the Kuala Lumpur. We will introduce a circle lines, which is currently under purview of my divisions, which is a rail division in Land Public Transport Agencies. We are looking forward to have the optimum alignment for these lines. And then we are having more lines after this, after Ministry of Transport has done some study on the introducing more lines in Kuala Lumpur and in suburban Kuala Lumpur. So this is the development and the future.
Wow. Okay. And just a super final question. What kind of technology will win and dominate in the next 10, 15 years? Electro or hydrogen? Just for your opinion.
Basically, in my opinion, Malaysia are looking forward to both. So we are looking the best optimum investment for Malaysia. So currently, we are doing a trial hydrogen bus in Kuching, Sarawak in Malaysia. And then for future, definitely, we are looking forward to have more hydrogen based vehicles such as tram. It might be good that we can have the technology to be imported to Malaysia, and then we are going to develop it. So, in my opinion, there is a lot of opportunity since the development of the railway lines, the fastest line in Malaysia are going very rapid right now. Even in Kuala Lumpur itself, the government has already going to introduce electric buses to be replaced the current diesel fleet. Will be in parallel with the target for Kuala Lumpur to be carbon-free city by 2030.
Okay, cool. So we wish you good luck in this hard way.
Thank you very much. We are struggling right now. We are enhancing our team. We are enhancing our agency so that we can cope with the technology development. And then we do hope globally will help us in terms of the sharing the latest technologies and sharing what are the possibilities that we can share, we can have, which is the best for Malaysia.
Wow, that's cool. So, it seems to me, Andrew, that's the time of our discussion is coming up. Yeah, and I have to give you back my mic. So, guys, thanks a lot. It was really amazing and useful for all of us and our guests. So, Andrew, it's your mic.
Yeah. Thanks again, everyone who shares your experience and thoughts about present and future of transportation. And before we start our pitch session, I would like to briefly remind the easy rules. 5 minutes for presentation and 5 minutes for so let's move on to the pitch session. And our first startups is Rugby's. Mert, mic for you. You can start. And I will provide you screen sharing. Yeah, it have to work.
Okay, let me turn on the. Yeah. I don't know if. Okay, it's coming.
Yeah, we see.
Okay, great. Also
Great.
turn on my counter so that I'm gonna fit in the 5 minutes. Okay. This is Mert. We are actually I'm from Istanbul, Turkey, and have been in engineering and startup world for the last 12 years. But as we discussed, we were in automotive industry. Now we are trying to shift to energy and maritime a little bit in the Netherlands. Our system is a charging automation system and a fast connection solution. I'm going to tell why we are calling this as a fast connection system. Just Mr. He already discussed about the upcoming regulations the IMO has already settled. It seems like the coastlines are the primary areas where the emissions are very high. Therefore, there have been some research going on, okay? And under one of the Horizon projects, world's first electric ferry, which is called Ampere, was developed. And it demonstrated that about 1 million liters of fuel is saved. And at that year, it was about 2.2 million euros of saving per year. So, of course, it was a big opportunity for ferry operators. When they saw these numbers, they started ordering electric ferries. And we thought there's a market niche here for us because all these ferries need to be charged and they need charging system. Currently, there are about 30,000 of ferries around the world and only 300 electric ferries. So the increase is so far linear, but we expected to see an exponential growth by 2030 when the regulations will be effective. A quick look at the market. The total market size is estimated about 7 billion euros as of today for global electrification. With an average CAGR of 12%, we expect to see about 12 billion euros in the following 4 years, and we expect to take at least 10% of this market. On the technical side, a quick highlight. Can you see the green rectangle on the left-hand side? This is a product from one of our competitors. It's charging an electric ferry right now. As you may see, there are hanging cables and there are plugs in front of these cables. So when there is wind or when there is a different type of ferry, it's not possible for this tower to charge that unit in a given amount of time. So we put some additional, let's say, improvements so that we can reflect or solve some of the problems. We have some AI-powered image processing systems to identify the plug and compensate for the motion. And we can transfer any type of plug, regardless of it's electric or it's hydrogen or it's LNG. The system is modular. It's going to just move to the ship and connect whatever you need. We have two competitors, at least main competitors, and they have been selling a lot of units during the last 2 years. But yet again, one of the concerns is costs. Since they are based mostly manufactured in Europe or engineered in Europe, the costs are very high at this moment. This is one of our competing points. We are going to challenge the fast connection, and again, we have a robust system which is not going to hit the ship hull, as we have seen in some of our competitors. I have already discussed about the plug identification and motion stabilization. The mechanical system is patent pending right now because due to its modularity, and we have more patents coming by in the following months. As I mentioned, the company is based in the Netherlands right now, and we are going to move to Rotterdam area. As you check the team is very experienced, and we have been selling to international companies. Of course, these were some other products in the automotive area, but now we are expanding marine industry. The commercial people will be add-ons in the Netherlands area. We have been recently invited to Yes Delft Port Excel in Netherlands, and a quick reminder, 20% of the world's ferries are manufactured in Turkey right now. So we are very close to manufacturing. That's why we want to keep the manufacturing in Turkey. I'm going to skip these two. Here is a more interesting thing for the experts also. As they have mentioned, all the vessels, off-road vessels are being electrified. And for the maritime side, we have off and onshore power requirements coming. So the market is going to expand. This is the number that we are looking into for investment onto POC, and if we achieve the POC, we will have the additional amount in 2024. And I would like to thank you all for sparing your time. I hope I met the time.
Yeah, thanks for your presentation. Yeah, if someone have a question for Mert, you can ask it. Habib, any question?
Yes, I wanted to know if this solution is already available, where, and what are the perspectives of implementing that solution in Africa?
Thanks for the question. This product is now available as a prototype. The tower is like 6.5 meters in height. It's a very big one, so that we can compensate for the motions and plug location on the ship side. And we are now looking for a place to test the product. So if you have any room for us, and if you have floating ships that want to test the product with, why not? We can discuss and make our initial tests in your port. I would be happy about this.
So you offer now pay the pilot project or what?
Well, actually, it depends. The issue is we are trying to enter the market. Okay, of course, we would prefer a paid pilot project. But again, we can be technology development partners with companies who have interest in this type of work, and we can further develop. For example, this is just an interface in between, let's say, ports and ships or ships and ships. We are now working on the right upper side, you see a barge with a plug on it, right? It's a power barge. What happens is, while Mr. Habib was talking about this, we are now working under a Horizon project. We will do an application for a power barge. The problem is, when the port side doesn't have enough infrastructure, or they don't have enough funds, our power barge can come over and provide the electricity, rent the electricity to the ship owner so that they don't pollute the environment. And for example, Port of Cameroon doesn't need to heavily invest in the infrastructure. So we are open to co-development with any companies. We would be happy to test any products. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was interesting. So let's go to our next startup. And our next startup is Raido One.
Hello.
Alex, are you here?
Yes, I'm here. Do you hear me?
Yeah. Yes.
Great. Here is my presentation. I'm CEO of Raido company, and we develop distributed charging infrastructure for micromobility. On a picture, you see how artificial intelligence look at emerging charging infrastructure for micromobility. And I will explain what will be real. Well, next slide. Second, yeah. Well, micromobility now used in many different areas, like mobility, delivery, and both these industries have a very similar problem of fleet charging. On the pictures, you see how fleet charging done for shared scooters today. Most of sharing operators have big warehouses where they are charging thousands of batteries and then distribute them across the city, mostly using cars. This is very expensive, actually most expensive part of the operation. They spent about 50% of their revenue just for charging a fleet. Courier delivery operators that use electric bikes have problems too. Every courier need to get back for a fresh battery every few hours, and this lead to wasting time and also money. Just 180 million euro spent for charging by only one of our potential customer, which is takeaway.com. We propose to build a distributed charging infrastructure based on kind of vending machines we have created. And this infrastructure creates multiple sources of charged batteries and greatly reduce charging cost for the operators and increase their revenue. Our charging machines are universal. They can charge almost every swappable battery for the scooters, electric bikes, or mopeds. It also creates additional level of security and safety for the batteries, because as all of you know, when lithium-ion batteries catch a fire, it's a total disaster. We have many different systems that prevents fire and suppress it and keep it, at least keep it inside the box. So, like, damage will not go for the building or people around. We also help operators to control their equipment, batteries at the first place. We understand their battery health, and we understand if some battery lose capacity. This is the problem for existing operation. And we use this, and we do this using our cloud service and mobile application for the field workers. So distributed charging infrastructure creates value for all kinds of micromobility users, sharing operators, delivery operators, and consumers or gig workers that use our electric bikes for like pleasure, work, or anything else. We believe that distributed charging infrastructure is the future for all those industries, and we for sure we will see them on our streets. Just one of the first who do such products. We have already launched a few pilots with European bike and scooter sharing operators. We have a few working charging stations, manufacturing facility in Turkey, and this year we will build at least 60 charging stations that will support at least 30,000 of scooters all around the world, in Europe, United States, Asia, almost everywhere. We invite all potential partners to do a pilot with our equipment and software, and like city municipalities and everyone want to be a part of charging infrastructure of tomorrow.
Okay.
Yep.
Thanks for your presentation. Yes. Any questions?
Yep.
I suppose it's all clear for everyone. No questions. I'll understand. Okay, let's go to our next startup, and the next startup is Every. I hope I pronounce it right. Chandresh, are you here?
Hi. Yes. Sorry. Hi.
Yeah, you can start.
Sure. Thank
5 minutes for your.
Is my presentation visible to everyone?
Yes, we see.
All right. Thank you. All right. Hi, my name is Chandresh. Of course, I'm the co-founder of EVRE. So what we are doing today is we are developing full stack EV charging solutions with actionable feedback loop. So we design, develop charging stations. We have tech patents around that. We manufacture this charging station, localizing the manufacturing with greater than 70% manufactured in India of the component manufacturing and the whole system. Two things that we do is the output of these, we produce chargers and we sell these chargers. In terms of number of chargers sold today, we are top 5 in terms of number of chargers sold, and we sell to government PSUs and builders. So the other thing that we do is fleet charging. In fleet charging for the last mile logistics, that is the three-wheeler delivery vehicles, that are used by Amazons and Flipkarts of the world, are charged on our network, and we are the largest CPO for that. We have operation and maintenance in 16 different cities in India, through which essentially we are able to understand the on-ground issues, design issues, user experience issues, and that is inactive and real-time feedback to design and development teams that constantly improve the product. So the patent that we have today is granted in India and filed in 14 other countries. So we are solving one of the biggest issues of public charging, that is parking space availability. So the patent is what the patent is about is we are globally the only charging station that is integrated with computer vision tech. So it helps in three things: parking space availability, parking space reservation, user authentication through license plate. So essentially the whole process is seamless. So today, what is the big problem when you look at public charging? When you look, okay, you want to charge your vehicle, you're a few kilometers away and you want to charge your vehicle. So you look on the app, and when you look at the charging station, it shows available, but when you get there, the parking space is not available. So our system essentially tells you both the charger and the parking space is available. It will reserve both parking space and charger. And when you get there, you don't have to use a mobile app to start the session. Essentially, it reads your number plate, and once you connect the charger to the system, it will automatically start. So essentially enhancing the user experience. The second thing that we do is dynamic load management. Here, with the help of the existing load, we try to manage maximum number of vehicles using scheduled charging or division of power. Saving the that essentially helps, because load is the biggest problem. The cost of procuring load is very high. So by using dynamic load management, we are saving money on excess demand, infrastructure, or the load that is needed. We manufacture chargers ranging from 3.3 kilowatt to 44 kilowatt on AC side, and on DC side up to 120 kilowatt. We have our own mobile app and dashboard. Dashboard essentially for our internal usage, where we can see all the data related to all the chargers, the revenue generated remotely if we want to start our stop sessions. Okay, coming to the major problem that we are solving and why we are doing this. So today, our major focus when it comes to developing charging infrastructure is for the drivers who drive vehicles and earn money out of it. So these are commercial vehicles. So what are the biggest problems that they face? So let alone availability of charging facility, there is no place for these drivers to even park their vehicles near their houses. So let alone for them, to have charging or electricity available for their vehicles to charge. The second thing is there are fleets in India that operate large number of vehicles. For them, the biggest problem is real estate, electrical and charging infrastructure, suboptimal utilization of their assets, the turnaround time it takes to develop charging infrastructure, and the bandwidth to actually manage and operate charging infrastructure. So these are two big problems that fleet owners or individual drivers who run commercial vehicles are facing. So what is our solution? What we have developed is called as the hub model. So we have internal algorithms through which we design we identify hotspots across the city, which are based on the major commercial usage coming from the delivery side and from the transportation side, that is passenger transportation side. And this is a real map, one of our hubs in Bangalore. And also the second thing that we look at is how easily and cheap it is to procure electrical load around that area. So based on that, we make this hotspot, and couple of kilometer radius of those hotspots, what we develop is called as the EV charging hub, EVRE charging hub. So our complete operations are based on jobs to be done theory. So jobs to be done theory essentially divides what are the different jobs any transportation company has to do over the day. So let it be milk and grocery, on-demand cargo. And because of that, what happens, and then they do e-commerce delivery. And some of these vehicles are only used in the daytime, not used in the night time, so they can park and charge. Some vehicles only require fast charging. So based on that, what jobs they do, we divide the time inside the hub, and that is how we generate demand at different times at our hubs. That's how our hubs are utilized for 24 hours. So we have an anchor customer who does parking and charging essentially. So our hubs are profitable from day one. And the other thing is the on-the-go charging that fleets need fast charging or charging in the daytime. So this leads to high.
Sorry, Chandresh, your time is over. So few words to finalize.
All right, what we have done until now, I can just take you through that quickly. So this is a small snapshot of what we have done until now. We have more than 1,000 charging stations, greater than 100 charging hubs specifically built for fleets, each and every one profitable. We have raised money, pre-series around 1.6 million. This is in rupees. So I'm just converting it for you. 1.6 million is what we have raised from an InsurTech unicorn in India. We already have a revenue of greater than $1 million. That is what we did in FY23. So that is EVRE.
Amazing. Cool. Yeah, any question? Andrew, maybe you have some question.
Do you mind if I ask a question?
Yeah, sure, Matt. Go ahead.
I think it's a great idea. I don't know if I can pronounce your name, Chandrish, correctly. I have one question.
Sure.
For example, as far as I see, the reason why we have shifted from maritime to from automotive to maritime is because the competition was not very high in our case. But in this case, I feel like with the standardization, especially, there's a big competition coming for electric vehicle charging systems, right?
Right.
There are many manufacturers, different, I don't know, companies that do this type of business. How do you think it would be possible to exit, maybe, if I may ask?
Right. So two things here. So two things that we have to our advantage today is one, we are a full stack solution. So there are a lot of people who only make chargers or only develop infrastructure. We do the full stack. Because of that, we are able to control the whole system. Highest uptime, we are able to maintain highest uptime, which is the biggest need for a fleet operator today. Every minute lost is I don't know, a few dollars lost every minute if their vehicles are down. So that is something highest uptime in the industry. Actually, the industry standard says 25% of all charges are broken at any time, at any given time, whereas our uptime is greater than 97%. We are able to do that because we are a full stack solution. We control the whole right from manufacturing, design, the infra development, and the operation and maintenance of these systems. So that's the first part. Second part is we have an early mover advantage in the logistics sector, early mover advantage. So we have already created huge contracts. We work with some of the biggest companies in India. So we have already created some, long-term massive contracts with these companies, agreements, exclusive contracts, where we are the only one who will provide charging infrastructure in certain region for them. So that is how we'll do it. So I think the game will be about who grows the fastest and the biggest. Everybody wants to bet on that.
Cool. Great answer. Okay. Thanks for your presentation. And we are going to our last startup for the day. And this startup is Takanal, if I hope I pronounce it right. Mahan.
Absolutely.
Cool. Yeah, 5 minutes for you, and you can start.
All right. So I hope my slides are visible. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you for this opportunity, and good afternoon, good evening to all on this call. So I will go full screen and then go to my next slide. So my name is Mohan Satyaranjan, and I am CEO of and co-founder at Takanal Energy. Time permitting, I talk about rest of my team as well. We are headquartered in Bangalore, India, and we are in the business of orchestrating energy assets. So what we have done is we have created a platform to which we connect energy assets. And when I talk energy assets, they could be batteries, they could be any other form of energy asset, maybe a hydrogen canister or whatever. So as long as we can figure out a way of physically and logically connecting that energy asset to our platform, we can start orchestrating it. So in case of battery, the physical connection is it gets connected to the grid through a bidirectional charger. So you have charger in one direction and a grid tie inverter in the other direction. And logically, we control it through over the cellular network. So that's how we do that. And once you have connected your energy asset to our platform, there are a lot of interesting possibilities that you can virtualize the energy asset. You can enable business models like battery as a service, EV as a service, energy as a service, battery swapping, energy accounting, and so on. So, and I must also mention that on this platform, once you have connected the energy assets, we also connect all the players in the energy ecosystem, the battery owner, the company that financed the battery, maybe the country that produced the battery, the company that insured the battery, or whatever. I mean, any role, the regulator. So right now the platform it uses mean stack. The future version of the platform will be blockchain based, so that all the transactions that happen on this platform are absolutely irrefutable. We provide end-to-end solutions, so not just
Mahan,
yeah.
One note, we see only your first slide executive summary. If you change the slides,
okay,
yeah.
let me
because we see.
Did you see? So you did not see this slide? Okay, so
yeah, but you can continue where you start.
Yeah. So it is very important that you are able to orchestrate your energy assets, because you want to be able to profit from them, and because the number of energy assets is going to be very, very large, you want to do it at scale and you want to do it globally. And this is a prerequisite for sustainable living. In India alone, we are expecting about $500 billion in investments in energy assets by 2030. And worldwide, it is going to be in the range of $1.5 to $3 trillion. Now, if you have an energy assets, first thing we need to keep in mind, they're expensive, right? Even a scooter battery would cost you 500 euros, upwards of that. Car batteries are much more. So you want to know about energy assets. Are they working okay? Can I optimize its uses? Can I get carbon credits for my energy asset? Can they earn for themselves? Can they be tokenized? And all kinds of questions come the moment you have an expensive asset. So our platform and our solutions help you do all of these. So we call our platform TQNX, and it enables energy asset virtualization as we talk. And as we first mentioned right at the beginning, it connects energy assets and all players in the energy ecosystem onto our platform, and thereby it enables several new business models. So logically, this is how our solution architecture looks like. The battery or the energy asset may be inside a UPS, or it may be inside a car or a three-wheeler or whatever, right? We connect that energy asset logically over cellular network to our platform, and physically it is connected to the grid, and the bidirectional charger there, our cloud controls that bidirectional charger as well. So that's how we orchestrate the usage of these energy assets. And so you have chargers, you have batteries, you have all kinds of energy assets, and then we provide you end-to-end solutions. So there are mobile apps for various roles, various players in this energy system. They can all perform their roles. Not all, we don't have all roles implemented yet. As our customers demand, we just implement the role and the workflow that they want. This is another view of the same diagram that I was just showing you, except that I wanted to highlight here that the energy assets may be of various types. They may be chargers, they may be batteries, they may be hydrogen canisters, energy. The roles, the different kind of people may be energy consumers, energy producers, prosumers, or any kind of user.
Mahan, yeah, your time is over. Few seconds to finalize your presentation.
Yeah, so I'm coming to almost my last. So our competitive landscape, for most of what we do, we don't have serious competition as well. And our business model is we take a small fee from our customers on every transaction. Our customers are mostly B2B. We do three things right now. There's something called Quick Swap, which is a battery swapping solution. Then there's something called Quick Charge, which is a shared charger solution. And we do energy asset monitoring. The quick swap looks something like this. Battery swapping has all kinds of benefits. The interesting thing is that we do retrofit existing ICE engine vehicles with electric traction as well as swappable batteries. We are very, very prolific in all kinds of activities. We speak at various forums. We publish. We keep publishing almost every month. We have one article coming somewhere. Some of our top customers, these are all from India, except Mesha Energy, that is not on this platform. They are from Boston area in the US. And this is our team. This is myself. I'm an engineer. I used to be in telecom and networking earlier, and about 5 years ago got into this domain. Pradeep, our another co-founder, used to work at Tesla and NEO, and he also worked at a few other companies as well. He leads our product development. And Dr. Mohan, he is an electrochemist by profession. He has done research in lithium-ion batteries for about 30 years. So that's all I wanted to share with this group right now, and I'll be happy to take questions and of course provide any additional details that you may want. Thank you.
Yes, great. Thank you for your presentation. I suppose we don't have a time for question, but we totally provide all your presentation to our experts and partners. And yeah, I would like to finalize our today's meeting. And thank you all for joining us today. And I hope you enjoyed the session. We will definitely share the desk with all participants. And yeah, let's keep in touch. If someone among startups would like to join us in our final pitch session, please contact with Rita or Irina, and they provide all information what you need to take a part in our final pitch session. Yeah, thanks again, and let's keep in touch. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Recording